Hello everyone, this is Sandman here, and I'm going to be showing you today how you can record a mobile test using our Rapise test automation tool for both Android and iOS. So to get started, I've launched Rapise, our test automation tool. I have connected to our Spira test management tool, and this is the Spira dashboard. And we're going to basically build a new test. So how do I do that? It's very simple. I've created a test automation framework, and inside of it, I have a test case for Android and iOS. And so if I was to do that again, let's just show you how that would happen. I go to add test case, and I'll create a new iOS test. So iOS device test 2. I choose mobile. I'll create that in my test cases folder. I'm going to use our codeless Rapise Visual Language option and builds my test. And now I need to choose the device. So I've set up ahead of time my different devices. I'm using an iOS device running on BrowserStack's platform. I also have an Android device running on BrowserStack. And if you go to the settings window, you can see the device. I've got an app that I've preloaded. I've chosen the version of the iPhone and the version of iOS that I'll be using. And I'm going to be using the XUI test protocol. And that's pretty much all I have to do. And now to record my test, I hit the record button. I hit OK. It's now going to launch my recording tool. Hit Spy, launches the window. And that's where I'll be doing my recording. And this is going to show me the device. So I hit Get Snapshot. And it's basically connecting to the device. The very first time you do Get Snapshot, it will take a few seconds as it has to initialize the device, load the app onto the hardware, and get the screenshot back. So it will take a little bit of time the very first time you do this. Once it comes up, it'll be much faster. Okay. So that is our sample application. It's called Library Information System, and that's available on the Inflectra knowledge base for Rapise. We have a sample app for both Android and iOS. We also have the iOS version available both for a physical device and a simulated device, so we can support both. And to do the testing, it's pretty straightforward, actually. I just click on the application under test, and I can then simulate my actions. So I'm going to say, let me tap on that part of the screen. I use the tap menu. And notice here on my recording dialog, it's recording my tap. There we go. And I now want to send the text. So I'm going to log in as librarian. So I type the login name here. I can do send keys. Notice that I don't need to use the on-screen keyboard, though it is visible on the page. I could tap on that instead. Generally, it's a bit easier and quicker when testing to use the shortcut we built into Rapise where we can just send keys. Of course, I now need to do the same thing for the password. So I click on the password. I'll send a tap to record that. And then I'm now going to send the keys again. Notice that because my login and password are the same, it's really convenient. I can just use the send keys again. Now, one slight quirk on iOS that we won't see on Android is that I do need to also make the password visible for it to log in correctly. So I click on the little eye icon and I tap that. Do that again. Sometimes it needs to be done twice. I don't know why. There we go. And now we can see the login and password. Now notice also I've got these two clicks. I can get rid of the second one. The other thing you'll notice is that the little eye icon is being recorded as a symbol, which I'm probably going to forget later what that is. So before I record this, so I get a better output, I'm going to edit the action and I'll change the name of the object from that basically bullet symbol to the show password instead, like that. Now I want to obviously sign in. So I click on the sign in button. I hit tap. And that will sign me in. And notice that I have other actions I can perform. I did a tap. I've done a send keys, but we also do have the option to hold down a press, short press, long press. I can do a swipe. I can do a shake. I can also do a precise tap, which is where I actually can send a specific tap for a certain amount of time in a specific coordinate relative to a control. I can scroll, I can accept a pop-up alert, and I can dismiss an alert. I can also rotate the phone horizontal and make it also back to vertical again. And let's see about that. What else can we do here? Let's go back to my device. Well, let's say I want to log out. Oh, notice that if you ever see that happening, it's not exactly matching up with what you're seeing. Just to get snapshot again. Sometimes it needs to refresh. There you go. And now you'll notice it's actually got the right items like that. And if I want to then verify something, like I want to verify I logged in correctly, I can use the learn option and I can learn an item and then say, I want to verify that value later. So I want to verify. I don't want to click on it, but I want to verify it. So I'm going to use the learn option, and learn simply adds that to the object repository, and I can then use that. So let me go ahead and do that. And I want to call that not librarian because that's obviously just the value. I want to learn it as name of logged in user, and I can then use that later on to verify. Okay, I guess I'll log out to return us back to the starting position. Tap. And also the logout button is actually, again, not super meaningful. So let me edit that and make that log out. So I can edit things as I'm going. Just the best practice, I find. Hit save. Okay, I'm done. Now hit finish. Go back to Rapise, hit append, and there's my mobile test. So text one, text two, click show password, sign in, sign out. Now text two, obviously we could rename that as well. I probably should have renamed that to login and password. They're not, again, not necessarily the most obvious, here it is, most obvious names for objects. So I can go in here and I can do the exact same thing. I can rename that to login and password and some other things. And I did that before in this other test that you can see here. So one I prepared earlier, if I jump over here, I already did the same thing. I took that, I renamed it, and I basically changed it from login and to log out to password, sign in, sign out, and I renamed everything. So this is an example. Also, I added code in to check that I'm logged in with the right user. So I did that right here. So I've added that. So that's how you would take what I recorded. This is what I recorded here. And I've just fleshed it out with a few more things. I've added the check to make sure I'm logged in with the right user. Sorry, this one. And I've also added some screenshot capture commands every so often like this. But apart from that, it's exactly what I recorded. And if I want to then play this test back, I just hit the play button and that will play the test and get my report, and it will save it to Spira and run it back through Spira as well. So again, really easy to do my tests and run them. But let's see how I would do an Android test. So let me just go over to BrowserStack quickly, and I just want to make sure I haven't got any runs running. I have found sometimes with BrowserStack you have to make sure there's nothing running or it can block things. So let me just end that. Stop all running tests. Yep. And now I'm going back to Rapise again. And I can now play my test or record my Android test. Let me go ahead and first play back this one to make sure it works, and then we can then do the Android test. So let's go ahead and play it. So I'm going to play back my test. I am playing back the one I recorded previously, just because that one has the extra checks in it, which is more interesting. But it's otherwise the same as the one I recorded. And it's going to start the playback. And if you look in the bottom right, you can see it's going to start launching the device. And when it runs through the test, it will ultimately record the screenshots where I've told it to capture them and put that into the final test report. There's always that first startup time for mobile. So it's going to log in, it's going to verify it logged in with the librarian user, and then it's going to basically log out and capture screenshots for each of these steps. It might fail at this one point. The one thing I found with this test is if I toggle the show hide password, sometimes it will already been shown, it will actually hide it rather than showing it. And if so, it may fail. Let's just see. Okay, it's finished. There's my test. Looks like it did okay. And you can see it's gone through all the different steps, verified the login was correct. And you go here, you can see there's my screenshot. I put the librarian login name, did the password like that. Okay, logged out correctly. And in the middle, if you look here, you can see it did log in correctly and verified that I was logged in with the right username, librarian. So we have 100% pass. That's a great test. Now, how would I do the same thing for Android? Very easy. To do an Android test, I would go to plus. I'll call it Android test 2. Hit create. Choose RVL. I need to make sure I change my device to Android to match the test I'm going to record, obviously. And then I do record. And hit OK. And once that comes up, hit the spy button. And this time we're going to do get snapshot. And notice that we have Android app device rather than iOS app device. And it will load in here. And I can do the same thing. So I won't repeat everything because you've seen it before, but I'll just show you the basics. It works in a very similar way for both Android and iOS. I have the same actions. I can tap, I can press, I can swipe, I can send keys and so on. And in this case, I'm using, I think it's a Galaxy device running with Android. It's just mounting the device. And there it is. And you can see there's the Android app. It's just loaded. Perfect. So just like we saw with iOS, the app loads here in the phone. The UI is the app is the same. Obviously, the Chrome for the device is different. So let's go ahead and let's do the exact same thing very quickly. So I want to log in, so I can go here and I can tap. And then I can send the keys. So I'll send the librarian. I'll send that to the login right there. Send keys. Perfect. I'll do the same thing with password. Send keys. And unlike iOS, I don't have to worry about the whole show hide password. That's all handled for me. And I do need to do the sign in button. The keyboard's in the way, so let me just scroll to it. Yeah. And then we're going to go tap on it. The first tap just cleared the keyboard. The second tap will actually work. So I'm going to, again, just as I did before, I'm going to go in here and delete the erroneous extra click that we don't need. Also, just like we saw on the iOS, where the name of the item being clicked doesn't quite match what we expect as a user, I will edit it right here. So this is the sign in button. I think that's just easier to do it right now where I remember. And I can also then learn let me get the snapshot and let me learn the logged in name because we're going to want to use that later to verify we're logged in correctly. So learn that. And we'll edit that from the name librarian to be the name of logged in user. Hit save. And once we've done that, we can now log out safely. Obviously, in real life, we might carry on testing and doing other actions like creating books or editing books. But for today, I just want to show the quick log out. And there we go. And the logout button also, just like we saw with iOS, it's a symbol. So let's change the object ID to log out just so it's just easier. Hit save. Okay, hit finish. And now go back to the test. And there we go. And there is our Android test to do the exact same thing. Just like I did with the iOS one, I would want to go in here. I want to grab screenshots. I want to add code to verify I logged in correctly, add basically the checks and verifications. And when I do that, it will look something like this. And that's how you record an Android and iOS test. Well, thanks for watching today's recording. This video showed you how to create a test using Rapise and an iOS app, native app, and an Android native app using Rapise and physical devices being hosted in a device cloud.